Hello, everybody. Oh, man. Adarian's on a roll this morning. Hello, everybody. It is Jen. This is Adarian. We are here with the Rethinking Biomechanics podcast. I don't even know what season or episode we're on, so I'm gonna pretend, not even gonna pretend to try and tell you.
So as the train horn goes by blasting us.
Oh, is that what's happening out there? Okay. I was like,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
not
yeah,
here.
yeah. Yeah, I don't know if
Whew.
you can hear it, but yeah. So what's going? Oh man, it's been a long time.
It's been a minute. We've been busy. We've both been busy with different projects. Last time we tried to do this, you were on a hot date.
I was on a what?
Hot date.
I was on a what? Why you putting my business out there?
We tried earlier, but Darian's like, I'm on a date. I'm like, okay.
Too funny, too funny, too funny.
Uh,
And she said hot. The day was too hot. It was a hot day. That's
Man, but yeah, we've had things going on. So, what are we discussing today?
oh man. Well, I think we can go fresh off the topic since it's here now
Okay.
about people taking this stuff personal.
Well, and I think we need to explain what you mean by that. So, you mean people take what personally?
Well, first of all, we're on social media, and everything on social media is fair use.
Mhm,
I mean, you have people take NBC broadcast and put it back out without
mhm.
getting permission from NBC to do anything, or Peacock or whoever. You know. Now, if you put that on your personal webpage, they'll get you.
Right.
But if you put it out here on social media, it's fair use now. So when
Mhm,
an individual posts something, they have to realize it's fair use now. So if I want to take that video and remix it, redo it, whatever I want to do, I can do it because it's fair use.
mhm.
Now, if you don't want your stuff to be used, don't put it out there in the first place. Make your page private, whatever the case may be. You know, but as soon as you use somebody's material for educational purposes, or even whatever people want, comedic purpose, whatever, satire, whatever, people get upset. But it's like, don't put it out there then.
Right.
You know, and this is because B2B BTB Performance. He's on the East Coast. He put out a video on sprint drills. And Coach Matt's been posting this stuff. Nobody's been bothering Coach Matt, but it all depends on who you are when they bother you, you
Yeah.
know. And so I remember people used to bother me. They don't bother me anymore. They used to stop bothering me. I'm not gonna take it down. I didn't say anything bad about you. So anyway, he's posted this video of a sprint drill, and he's explaining why this video is not doing what it's supposed to do.
Mhm.
Now everybody's been convinced. They paid a lot of money to say this video, so and so, the elite person, the guru told me this video works. And you got somebody they consider a nobody, not being in the business, is telling them, no, it doesn't work. And
Mhm.
this is why it doesn't work the way you say it's working. And then they're upset as they're being personally attacked. No, I'm just trying to point out to you why this demo you did isn't working as you think it's going to work. And we keep saying that the whole time. I mean, we keep talking about, and this we get into the other thing about the shapes. This is going to lead to our other topic too,
Uh-huh.
about all the shape chasing that people are doing
Okay.
and stuff. And so you get to this point where it's a very good video. He didn't say anything bad about the person. He didn't say anything personal about the person. He was speaking to the drill, and this is a drill that everybody does.
Mhm.
It's not just this one person doing the drill, but people act like the drill belongs to them. Like, I invented this drill. No, that drill belongs to everybody. And this one person just pointing out that, hey, this is what happens when you sprint. This drill doesn't even come close to that. And then when you say that, they say, well, it's supposed to make you coordinated. Fine. But once again, that coordination is not the same coordination needed for this over here. No matter
Right.
how you spin it. And so at that point in time, it's just information to say, hey, y'all, you might want to rethink this. That and we get it because people can't let go of things like core. So they run
Right.
with this stick over their head
Right.
because they want to work on the core,
Yeah.
you know. And it's like, but that's not how that works,
At
you know.
all.
at all, and they think that because they saw the person with the six pack, you saw the
Right.
sprinter with the stomach, and they thinking like, "Ooh, I'm gonna." So, we get into this thing of, even like I put out a video speaking to stop chasing shapes, and that's what we're getting down to in this conversation. This is why people are taking it personal. They're taking it personal because they don't know anything else
Hmm.
but that shape.
Right.
It's like if you go to a restaurant and only thing you know is a hot dog.
Hmm.
There's no hot dogs on the menu. I don't know why I ain't got no hot dogs here. I don't know, because you're upset because you don't know anything else but that hot dog.
Hmm.
That's what people get upset about. They don't know anything else, so they get upset. Instead of trying something different, instead of saying, "Hey, let me see what else they got here. Let me explore. Let me learn something." No, they get upset.
Well, which is kind of a an aspect of the industry in general. And maybe it's just people in general. It's hard to have just like a thoughtful conversation that looks at both, just different ways of looking at things, right?
Well, part of the problem with the industry is not that is industry where everybody wants to be somebody.
Yeah, there is that. Yeah.
And it doesn't take much to be somebody if I just do what everybody else is doing. So
Right.
everybody is doing this drill. So I'm gonna call myself a professional, whatever.
Hmm.
And I'm just gonna copy the drill I've seen everybody else do. And that's why people keep inventing stuff because they're trying to figure out how do I separate myself from the common person.
Right.
So now I got A skips this way. A skips. I told you about the long time ago. I did a drill saying 44 ways to do A skip. I mean, I did this video like back in '08, back in '07, '08. I did a video called 44 ways to do A skips.
Hmm.
I was just
I
making
have
up
a
as I went.
I have a client that jokingly asks me if I would ever consider writing a manual about 58 ways to do a bridge because I'm constantly giving her different ways to do a bridge. She's like, "How many variations do you have?" I'm like, a lot of variations."
A lot. And so I think that's what the whole thing is that people they get upset because they only know the hot dog.
Right.
That's all they know. And instead of saying, "Hey, can you explain to me? Hey, can you explain this to me?" Instead of doing that, they throw the tantrum. You know. So, but once again, you know, just like these things, these words, these people say, just like we put out our book, and I put out this morning about, no, I didn't. You know what? I was gonna put out a video this morning. I don't think I put it out. I think I stopped. I don't even want to mess with them anymore. That was my attitude. I'm not gonna mess with them anymore because I was gonna put out a video and I'm gonna put it out, but I'm not gonna mess with them. I'm just gonna put the video out in a
Hmm.
different format, you know, to explain, complete rotations.
Hmm. Okay.
You know, because a lot of times people talk about supination, pronation. Well, that's incomplete rotation.
Right.
Or people talk about international rotation. Those are incomplete rotations.
Hmm.
If your leg internally rotates, it should continually internally rotate. It should
Yes.
rotate in one direction. If it
Yeah.
externally rotates, it should rotate in one direction. It shouldn't be going back and forth. We say that in our book. We talk about
Hmm.
complete rotations or the best,
Right.
and then it becomes a congruent rotation because as the
Yes.
leg tries to rotate, then the foot tries to rotate in the same direction.
Yes.
Everybody is agreeing with the rotation
Yes.
instead
Yeah.
of the foot trying to go to one way and then the leg tries to go the other way. That's incongruent. That's not going to work. Then we want to got knee problems, this problem, because of incomplete rotations. But once again, that's in our book. Like, we got the best book out there. I'm just going to say it again. We got the best book out there. I'm sorry. Got to say it again.
Well, and this is funny because we talked about this a couple of days ago. Like I've been playing with femur pitch on my runs, and you had said, if you play with something like that, if you use something that actually works with the rotations, then everything else just sets itself up. You don't have to think about it.
Right. But
Yeah.
once again, what are people chasing? Shapes.
Right.
They find a shape they like, and then they
Yeah.
try to train to that shape. Instead of saying, no, how did the person get into that shape? How did they get? Because
Right.
that's not the end point. That's just someplace in between.
Yeah.
And so that becomes a lot of it. There is that's the lack of understanding.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like painting by numbers. That's easy to paint by numbers.
Right.
It's easy to paint by numbers. Easy. It's all laid out. Just da 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 da. That's easy. That's like shapes. That's the same thing. Painting by numbers. Hey, just get this shape. Now, your painting's still gonna be fucked up. right? It ain't gonna be as good as the artist, as the professional, as the one who actually know how the contrast and why I'm doing this contrast, why
Now
I'm doing this stream, why I'm
you
using this surgeon.
you realize I now have to put an explicit language warning on this particular.
We're not PG anymore. I had to use that word. That was a good word. Hey, we're gonna talk about that too. Words. When's a good time to use them? Get your
But keep going with the shapes. Keep going with the shapes.
so, but the person painting by numbers didn't take time to understand why I'm using these two colors to contrast each other. Why I'm
Yeah,
using a certain stroke here. Why I'm using this brush here and this brush here. They didn't take time to learn that.
right.
So the same thing. People that understand shapes didn't take time to learn anything
Yeah,
outside of this. You need to hit the shape. And the reason they came with shapes is because they didn't like what they saw.
yeah.
I mean, could you imagine? Could you imagine Picasso? You don't like Picasso, so you come with paint by numbers. That's the equivalent.
Picasso could
Oh,
probably do an amazing portrait with paint by numbers. It would look very different than mine. That's for sure.
but that's the equivalent of it. You didn't like Picasso, so I came with this thing called paint by numbers. It's way better than Picasso,
Right, right,
you know. So that's what they came up with. Like, I mean, think about this. People are taking the best, just like when you say Bo came out, the best. He didn't conform to the shapes. So
right,
here's the Picasso. We don't like Picasso. He didn't conform to the shapes that they thought he should have.
right,
And so here they are saying, well, he's bad technique. This runner who is 2 seconds slower has better technique than Bolt.
right.
Paint by numbers. You see?
Yeah. I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying.
So we get into this thing of these arbitrary shapes that people have made up, because they didn't like something,
Mhm.
you know, and here we are. And they mad because you don't want to paint by numbers,
Right.
you know. So I mean that's like at the shop, like I said when I was out looking for, and I said, when I was out looking for paintings for the shop, and I said, hey, these oil paintings, they just call me. I see the other ones, but these oil
Yeah.
paintings, they just, and that's how it is. But I don't reject the other ones.
Right.
It's just something about the contrast, the colors, and it's like, oh, it's busy, and so I'm like, okay, cool. But in my world, busy works because that's when I watch videos. It's busy,
Mhm.
and I can see the different things going on. Really like it. A lot of people can't do that. Fine,
Right.
that's fine.
Yeah.
But don't just go, hey, if you hit this shape, you're gonna run fast. You'll get
Yeah.
better. And most likely, he was already in that shape anyways.
Well, and I think that's where a lot of people get confused. They think that if they attain this perfect, mythical, perfect shape, that's going to improve their performance. Which,
Yeah.
unless you're performing in like an artistic way, right? Like you have to, like you're trying to get like a
Right,
really
right, right,
great,
right, right,
really clear line because you're doing,
right,
dance or figure skating or gymnastics or aerial. Like that's a different
right.
story.
Different story. Figure skating,
Yeah.
different story. When they give
Yeah.
you when they give you
Right.
points based on how you look, different
You
story.
need
Hit the shape.
hit the shape.
So, but
um,
but but those people are not painting by numbers. That's Picasso
no.
again. That's
Right.
Picasso really, really working. You
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
So but then we get to this other point about how do we get here too? Well, because and I'm just gonna boil all these topics together today because I'm on one.
All right. I'm ready.
And so once again, how do we get to painting by numbers and shapes? Weightlifting,
Bodybuilding specifically, right?
bodybuilding.
Yeah.
So
Because
so
you're trying to look a
so
specific way.
try and look a specific way.
Yeah.
And now once again, you have those at this level of bodybuilding. They're really good. Picasso's again. Then you got the average
Mhm.
Joe painting by numbers again.
Yeah.
You know, but what happened is we like muscles and we consume muscles and strength. That's why we look at the big guy in the gym, who's the most
Right.
clumsiest guy, who might be the most clumsiest person outside of the gym.
Right.
That's what we say. I want to be big like him, and then we're gonna try to be athletic and wonder why it didn't work.
Right.
You know, and so because why? We didn't learn anything. We just wanted to paint by numbers again. I
Yeah.
want to be big like that because I see strength in that. And,
Right.
and And the scientist told me over here that I need this large force. I got to handle this large force. I'm getting stronger to handle this large force.
Mhm.
And you've been handling this force your whole life.
Right.
I mean, you've been handling gravity your whole life. Ain't that changed since you was born? Ain't that changed since the baby jumped off? Kids when they climb on stuff and they jump off stuff.
Yeah,
All of a sudden, you need help to handle this thing called gravity.
it's true. It's true.
So, so we get into this thing. I mean, and we into this thing called back squat. Everything's about a back squat.
Which I think I
And
sent you that article about how back squats even came to be, right?
yeah, on the gotta remind me now.
It was so this guy came over from Europe. He really liked barbells. It was in the
Right,
days when the US didn't really have access to barbells. And
right.
so, and there were no squat racks. So like he thought it was kind of fun to get the bar on his back and he
Well,
did that,
yeah, yeah, yeah. Some people have been trying to bring that back.
I think it's called the Sanborn lift, I think.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, yeah, which, and so you're not going to be able to load up anywhere near as much weight as you can with the barbell racked, right? Because you have to get it from the floor up onto your back. So there's that. And you're starting in a squat position. So it's actually a very different lift.
Well, yeah. I mean, think about it. Somebody trying to have 700 pounds. Yeah. I mean, she
Yeah.
got 350. The lever ain't gonna work out right. You got 350 over here. The lever ain't gonna work out right. It ain't gonna work out
Yeah.
right.
It would never work. Yeah.
Yeah. But that becomes the other part. Why we get to this thing we're in because people want to do too much. They
Yeah.
never, well, I did 200. I got three. I mean, remember when hip thrust came about and hip thrust started out as lightweight? Now people are trying to hip thrust 1,000 pounds because they never
Oh
did it.
my gosh. Right. And they're getting injured, unsurprisingly, because.
Well, yeah, and they blame the body and say, "How about you just did too much?"
Totally. Yeah.
But once again, we're gonna paint by numbers. We get into this thing called, my tissue has to adapt, and like if you do whatever you do, it's gonna adapt.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, gymnasts don't do anything special in the weightlifting room. They just go do gymnastics.
No, they
Figure
do it
skating.
some they do lift a little bit, but it's nothing extreme.
I mean, you ever see a figure skater do that jump with the axle and land on one leg and
Yeah.
everything?
Yeah.
Tissue adaptation. No, it's called levers. It's called joints. This is how the body works. This.
Well, and it's funny because if you talk to a figure skating coach, they'll tell you they're going to try to find the easiest way to make that happen, not the hardest.
And that's our next topic. That's our next topic. Well, we
Not today,
flowing
though.
today.
Oh, we're flowing today. Okay, we're doing it today. All right, we're going to go right into it.
The other thing we want to talk about is how it's part. Like I said, we got into this situation with the bodybuilding, with this, and all this other stuff because people want to make it harder.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, I got this thing on the ground, got this barbell, I can put it on, but I can only do so much weight, so I want to make this harder. So you get
Yeah.
this rack. Let me get some way to make this harder.
Yeah.
And we keep talking about that. With some of the things that we have, even with the book and rotations.
Right.
It's easy to say, hey, I'm going to assess your movement based on rotation and the congruency of the
Yes.
rotation. And I
Yeah.
can say, hey, look it. Every time you bring your knee up, pitch your thigh up, it's an invisible collision with your torso trying to rotate forward.
Right.
And your torso loses that battle and ends up rocking back. So every time you do this, you actually move backwards. So you're losing time based on that.
Yeah.
Where somebody else will say, hey, you need to keep the torso stiff. No, you don't need to keep it stiff.
Yeah.
You need to lift. You didn't need to do that rotation.
Right.
And so, but why are they doing that? Once again, they paint by numbers. I saw it because people are chasing what? End thing, and the end thing is the hardest thing.
Yeah.
How do I, because now I do what? I need to get my knee up that high. It's not coming that high. Now I increase my hip flexor strength. So I'm making this harder.
Yes.
When you have to do that in the first place, I need to get up on my toes. You just made it harder. You didn't have to get on your toes.
Yeah.
So now I'm gonna do this calf thing, and I'm training this. No, you're making it too hard.
Yeah.
So that was the other thing. We keep talking about is in this thing of making it hard when everybody else wants to make it easy.
Mm-hmm.
So those are a lot of topics.
Those are a lot of topics. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's go back to them again.
Okay, we
Let's start with
had
people taking, you start with people taking it personal
people
when
taking it
everything is fair
personal.
use. Everything's fair use.
Then we had shapes.
You got shapes,
Hmm.
you know. People in your shapes when
Yeah.
because they didn't know any better. They want to paint by numbers instead of trying to be Picasso,
Uh-huh.
you know. And then we have bodybuilding coming into the mix because
Right.
people have strength, you know, and I want to be, you know, but it doesn't work over here. That person, that fast person was fast first before they were strong.
Right.
And we always try to flip it. We always try to flip it. Oh, they were fast
Yes.
first. Well, if they got stronger, they would go, and then they get stronger, they don't go no faster,
Yeah.
you know. And so what was the final thing we had? People want to make it
Efficiency.
hard.
Yeah,
People want to make it
exactly.
hard instead of being efficient, you know. So that's the we just summed this business in one nutshell,
Exactly. In like less than 30 minutes. That was impressive.
you know. But why? Because somebody wants to make a lot of money.
Yeah.
Because there's two ways to make money. One is make it complicated, make it hard. I mean, like we talked about the other day, as you found out with no, we was talking about what's her name, Sarah Hall. We always talk about her.
Yeah. Well, because she was set like she was a phenom, however you say that word. And then they messed with her gait.
Wait, can we go back on that?
Yeah.
Wait. She normally you don't have problems pronouncing words, so I
I
got to
never
get
know
you
how to
on
say I never know how to say that one. Phenom. Phenom. I don't
this.
know.
Phenom.
Phenom.
It's
Okay.
yeah, P545. The phenom.
Phenom. Okay. Okay.
Phenomenal. So yeah, no, that's funny. Look at folks. Me and Jen go back and forth all the time, and anytime we get a chance to get one another,
It's true.
and
Uh,
I rarely get a chance to get her on words. Matter of fact, I would probably say that's the first time ever. So that's how rare it is. That's the first time ever. In how many years now? 7 years?
something like that. It's been a long time.
That's the first time ever. So I just got look. I got it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna pick my lap while I can because it might be another 7 years before I can do that again.
Oh man. But yes, Sarah Hall. Yep.
Oh, Sarah Hall was running really well,
Really well. Like really well.
winning records and
Yeah.
everything. And then somebody said we're gonna fix her because we don't like how she
Yeah.
looks.
Yep.
And next thing you know, she was hurt.
Yep.
Next thing you know, she's out of business.
Yeah.
And you go, what happened? You know,
Yeah.
all that he won, and then they all of a sudden it's like, you know, they didn't see how what she was doing was efficient. But once again, and we know what happened now. We know what happened because we've been playing with traps and the trapezius muscles and everything. Matter of fact, we got a book coming. We got a good book coming out really, really soon. Well, not a book, but yeah, it's kind of a book. How are we gonna phrase this?
Well, it's a manual, maybe? A manual?
The manual?
I
See,
think.
I wrote it down so good. Yeah. So
Yeah.
in this manual, we're gonna explain why somebody like Sarah Hall was fast at one point in time, why her belly poked out,
Yeah.
and it really wasn't her belly being poked out. Why what they call anterior or posterior pelvic tilt isn't that?
Right.
You know what's really going on? Why scoliosis helped Usain Bolt run fast?
Yeah.
You know, or how? You know, so it's been a long time coming, but it's coming.
It's gone through multiple iterations, for those of you wondering.
So yeah, well, it's gone through that because you know we was trying to make it as easy as possible.
Yeah.
You know, was trying to make something really easy, something really different, something that
Yeah.
didn't put out the same thing that was out there already about information.
Right.
You know, so and that becomes the other thing, and this leads to the other part. Part of what we're writing about is how the legs don't do the work people think it does.
Yes. Maybe this is more of a guide. Maybe it's a guide versus a manual.
Yeah, yeah. So, but that's gonna be a shock to people when we come out and say, "Hey, all that leg stuff you're doing, mm-mm,
Yeah.
mm-mm. You know." So it's gonna be kind of cool. But yeah, but it's coming out. There's no shapes in it.
There's no shapes.
There's no shapes. There's
Flapping
nothing about
birds.
that.
There's flapping birds.
Don't give it away. Look it. She tried to out me on my hot date, and now she's like, don't. Shh.
Okay. Okay.
That's why we talk around it. Talk
I
around it.
see. Gotcha. Gotcha. Okay. Okay. I see. I see.
But hey, it's a phenomenal piece of work.
Very good. Yes.
So yeah, no, but I think, like I said, as we get into this and everything, and as we talk about this business and stuff, and why we even call rethinking, I think people still miss that
Um,
we see it a different way. Not
right.
saying that way is wrong. We just see it a different way.
Right.
And seeing it different ways based on trying to make it more easier, not harder.
Yes.
Help
Exactly.
you understand, so you can be a Picasso, not paint by numbers.
Right.
That's like a whole purpose. Get everybody be Picasso, and stop painting by numbers. And that's okay if you want to paint by numbers. If you want, but don't be mad if somebody doesn't want to paint by numbers. Just like we're not mad if you don't want to be Picasso. We not. If you want to paint by numbers, paint by numbers. We're not gonna take it personal. I mean, remember. I remember what Jen took personal. I didn't take personal. Remember we got that bad review on our book.
Oh yeah, we got a very bad review on it. Well, it wasn't a bad. He still gave us 3 stars. That was the funny part. It was a bad review, but he still gave us 3 stars.
Yeah. And because once again, it was different.
Yeah.
They understood the hot dog, and we didn't give him a hot dog.
Right.
He's mad because I was expecting a hot dog. Nobody told you to expect a hot dog.
Yeah.
But even with that, and I keep saying, why is that? Why I think our book is the best? Because it's so simple. But a lot of people say it's not simple. People say it's not simple. And just like we talked about, when I said, hey, it's taken me 15 years to get somewhere.
Yeah.
I did this morning, that it's taken me this long because he's talking about something that's in the book, but we was talking
Mhm.
about something that I said a long time ago.
Yeah.
But it's taken me 15, and why it take me 15 years to get here? I had to get rid of all the other stuff that didn't matter. I was
Yeah.
clinging on to. And so that's what we keep saying about mixing and matching. Once you read the book, quit clinging to other stuff. Lepers is that's all we are as lepers.
Hmm.
And people still fight that.
Yeah.
You know, hey, we move based on rotations, and 3 rotations happening all at the same time. People still fight that because they want to be linear. We just put out the article too, right? That says, hey,
Yeah.
sagittal, frontal, and transverse plane. You might
Hmm.
want to try this instead. This is why. So we just put out that's on rethinking biomechanics. It's a cool article. But we can get a lot of stuff in today. This is just
I
flowing.
know. Yeah. Well, which kind of leads me to what did you learn this week?
I learned when it's appropriate to say the word fuck.
Oh man, explicit language. See, it's just adding to my workload. It's like, language content. Okay. Okay.
No, and look it, because for those that don't know, that I'm on probation and everything, and I had to go to the probation office a couple of weeks ago, and I came out and I said, damn, sometimes the words are appropriate. They fit. You know,
Sure. It's
I'm
true.
not. I'm not about them being used, tossed about. Every other word. But adjective's an adjective.
It's very true. It's very true.
And sometimes you got to paint the picture. And sometimes saying the word like that didn't go well don't cut it.
All right. Fair. Fair.
So yeah. So but that's what I learned. So what you learned this week?
I learned that if you want to increase your tempo, just do femur pitch. That's all. That's all. Femur pitch is magical for distance runners. Everyone, I mean, I just used to try to like run faster. That's what you try to do. You try to run faster.
And yeah, and I crack up because all the videos I showed of distance runners over the years.
Femur
And
pitch. But
and
I
all
tried
times that
so many other things. Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
I,
yeah,
I
yeah,
didn't fully, I wasn't fully incorporating it or getting it. And then it just like clicked. I was like, oh, this is it.
yeah.
I did it on lunges this morning. I'm like, this is great. I should just be doing this all the time. See?
So yeah. Well, like we keep talking about, it became easy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now you can go up the big toe, make it hard. You can,
Yes.
you can do, make it hard, or just make it easy and enjoy it.
Yes. Yeah. It feels like you're kind of just like floating along. I mean, certainly your heart rate gets up, but like, it's great.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yesterday when I was in the gym, I was doing the press,
Hmm.
the the flies when I was laying down.
Hmm.
And if you watch that video, I didn't put it out, but I think I sent you a copy of it. And those are 40 pounds. So that's 40 pounds. And I don't do this stuff. But if you watch the first couple of reps, it's like it's a struggle.
Hmm.
And then once I flipped
Oh,
to make it another way, it was like, oh, and then all of a sudden you see they go up, they come back down. They go up, they come back down. There's, because it got easy.
yeah.
It got easy. And I thought about, it was easy enough that I thought about, hey, let me get some 55s. And I was like, nah, don't do that. This is not what you do. With that.
Oh, man.
So yeah. But so now the other thing is this here. What do you got going on?
What do I have going on?
What do you got going on?
Well, I just released a new book, so that's fun.
See, she's trying like she don't be doing stuff. She has a new book out. What I got going on? Look at see this is what you about to make me use another cuss word.
No, let's not do that. Let's not do that. We need to keep it like PG rated for the rest of the show.
Tell the people, be excited about it. Like, hey,
Um, yeah, Spinal Intelligence. It's out now. You can buy it on my website. It'll be up on Amazon soon. There you go.
you can't get it on rethinking.
Oh, I should put it up on Rethinking. I'll add it.
You're gonna make me use another cuss word.
Since it is published by J&A Publishing, so Yeah. Okay. It's going up on Rethinking. I'll take care of that today.
Oh,
What do you got going on? You got all kinds of things going on.
uh, well, I got Philadelphia coming up next week. Going to
Yeah.
Philadelphia, and then we got NSCA
In
coming up
July.
in July. And that's about it. I'm gonna downplay it like you downplay it. That's much. You know. Hey, in July though, we're gonna be at NSCA, and I say we because she's gonna be out there too, and we're gonna be talking about asymmetry and how to accept asymmetry and how to use it for performance gains.
Yes. You should totally if you're going to the conference, you should totally come.
Yeah, it's gonna be cool. And if you're gonna be in Philadelphia, holler at me next week. Want to go
Yes.
out and get a drink or something? Shoot me a line. I'll be in Philadelphia from the 15th through the 18th. So yeah, if you want to go out and get a drink or something, if you're out in Philadelphia, people, shoot me a line. Because I'm assuming it's gonna get put up before next
This
week.
is gonna get put up. This will get put up in the next 24 hours. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Because sometimes people put things up and it comes up after the date.
Totally. Yeah. Oh man. All right. Well, that was great. So that was, like I said, thank you for joining us for this episode. Hopefully there will be more sooner rather than later.
Can we reiterate though? Let me reiterate this one more time. People,
Okay.
if you put it on social media, it's fair use. If somebody took the time to educate people about something, just take it for educational purposes.
Yeah.
I mean, don't expect everybody to agree. Just like everybody doesn't agree with what we say, you
Right.
know. And so people call us out at times, and people call me out all the time. I'll be like, yeah, whatever. If you don't agree, but like I said, our stated purpose is rethinking. So when you
Right.
call us out viewpoint, don't come with a regular viewpoint. We say we're not even thinking about that. So that's the other part. And once again, folks, make it easier. Not even train smarter.
Yeah.
Just make it easier. Easier works.
Easier works. We're going to end on that note. Words of wisdom. Stop.